Hi. So, did you miss me? Because I missed you a lot. Finally, welcome to her Endless TBR. If you are wondering why I am not uploading any content for this channel, to be honest, I don't know actually because I was uploading regularly for my first channel, which is in Bengali. And I had so many interesting and exciting things planned for my second channel, this one where you are right now. So I don't know actually what happened. I intend to post more often in this channel because this is another of my love child, I can say, where I talk about books and where I share my love and affection for literature and books with you guys. So, today I have a huge book haul for you because I have been buying and collecting books for quite a while in this month. And first, in the beginning of the year, I have promised myself that I'm not going to buy any book. I'm going to finish all the books that I already own. And like any other book lovers, any other bookworm, I know you can relate to me. I couldn't keep that promise and I bought a lot of books. And today I'm really excited because this is the first book haul of this channel and it is huge. So I don't want to waste any more of your time and I just want to jump right into the video. If you are new here, I want to welcome you again. And if you subscribe to my channel, I'll be really grateful. So let's begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary, quite incredible, quite unlike anything.
So first, I want to show you this book. This is The Inugami Curse by Seishi Yokomizo. This is a detective story, and I love this series so much. I read the first book, The Honjin Murders, in the beginning of the year, and I absolutely love the vibe. This is a translated Japanese detective novel, and it is translated by, let me see, Yomiko Yamazaki. I'm sure I'm butchering the name, but yes, the cover is stunning. It's very, very exciting for a crime thriller lover, and it has the perfect blend of Sherlock Holmes' quirk and Agatha Christie's character and plot and family dynamic. Everything that I actually admire about Agatha Christie's writing and about Sherlock Holmes' characteristics, you can find everything here. I am right now reading this book, and I am absolutely loving it. And this is about a family, the Inugami family. They are quite toxic. When the head of the family dies, he writes a very mysterious will, and he, before dying, has sort of planned this elaborate scheme to actually make his children pay for their mistakes because he hated his daughters. So this is a very, very unique dynamic. And here you can find that after the revelation of the will, many gruesome murders will start happening. And here we have Detective Kindaichi who is trying to figure out what's going on. This is so addictive. I love Kindaichi's character. I love the structure of this plot. So, yes, this is my fall time mystery book that I have been currently reading. Next, I want to show a collection of Stephen King's books because, again, when I was looking for good horror books, and I know I would absolutely love Stephen King, but I wanted to understand his style or how his mind works, if that makes any sense. But yes, for that reason I bought Night Shifts, a short story collection by Stephen King, and I absolutely loved each and every story of that book. Some of them are so scary, it still gives me nightmares, and I absolutely love his writing style. And I love reading horror because light scares the out of me, and that's why I think reading horror is such a cathartic experience for me. I just love imaginary world that invokes horror. And in Stephen King's writing, what I actually love is his ability to create horror, to make us feel this airy feeling through very mundane daily things, which literally blew my mind. So here I have Stephen King's Bag of Bones. This is a hardcover edition. By the way, three of these collections are actually used copies. I really enjoy reading used books. I feel they are loved and they're blessed. This is very, very chunky. And I want to read from the blog. Grady Main, Mike Noonan's wife, dies unexpectedly. After this tragic loss, the best-selling writer suffers acute writer's block, unable even to face the blank screen of the word processor without being shaken by nausea and panic. Bag of Bones is a gripping, distinctive, haunting tale of suspense, romance, terror, and grief, of lost loves, enduring bonds, and of a new love struggling to be free of the past and the sin of the ancestors. Yeah, I'm in. Next, I have Stephen King's Jim Casher. Again, I know nothing about this book. Let me read the blurb. In Drury, Maine, again, we are in Drury, Maine, okay? Four young boys once stood together and did a brave thing, something that changed them in ways they hardly understand. A quarter of a century later, the boys are men who have gone their separate ways, though they still get together once a year, go to hunting in the north woods of Maine. But this time it is different. This time, a man comes stumbling into their camp, lost, disoriented, and muttering about lights in the sky. Before long, these old friends will be plunged into the most remarkable events of their lives as they struggle with a terrible creature from another world. Their only chance of survival is locked in their shared past and in the dream catcher. Again, it is very intriguing, and this is comparatively short. And for Stephen King, the short version of a book is more than 500 pages. So, yeah. Compared to this looks like a baby. Okay. Next, I have Insomnia by Stephen King. Again, this is one of my used copies, and this is also a hardcover. I love reading hardcover books. Though it is difficult to handle them, but I would any day choose a hardcover over a paperback. And this book's cover actually matches my outfit today. Can you see? It is a Van Gogh starry night top, and this matches the vibe. So let's see what it's about. You will lose a lot of sleep. Currently, I am again facing some problems of insomnia, so I don't know if I should pick this one right now. Ralph does. At first, he finds it hard to drop off. Then he starts waking up earlier and earlier, but that is not when he begins to see things, colors, shapes, strange auras around his friends. Not to mention the bald doctor who always turn up at the scene of a death, the evil looking one clutching a rusty scalpel. All that comes later. I am really sold. I know this is going to be terrifying for me, but yes, I'm so intrigued by it, and I know what insomnia can do to you. I have been facing the problem of insomnia for a very long time, for years. And whenever I see that I haven't slept, enough for 2 to 3 days, I start losing my mind. And I know a lot of people actually go through this, and because of the stress we deal with every day, it is so difficult to just peacefully sleep. And if you don't sleep enough, you start seeing things. It is true. It's how your brain functions. So, yeah, I think this is psychological horror as well as supernatural. So, I love this blending. And I don't know, many people actually try to attempt what Stephen King does, but he's the king for a reason. Okay, now the next Stephen King book that I have is Misery. And this is a paperback copy. It is a new copy. And I'm planning to read this one during this fall. And I have heard so many good things about this one. And I haven't watched the film. I want to, but I don't want to be spoiled. So I will watch the film later and I will first read this one. I know it is a very popular one, and many of you actually know the plot and have read it, but still, I'm gonna read from the back. Misery, Justin is dead. Paul Sheldon has just killed her. With relief, with joy, misery made him rich. She was the heroine of a string of bestsellers, and now he wants to get onto some real writing. That's when the car accident happens and he wakes up splinted and in pain in the remote mountain home of his rescuer, Annie Wilkes. The good news is that Annie was a nurse and has pain killing drugs. The bad news is that she has long been Paul's number one fan. And when she finds out what Paul has done to Misery, she doesn't like it. She doesn't like it at all. Oh my god. Creepy. And yes, being a fan of someone can be sometimes really creepy. I was a creepy fan of many celebrities when I was a teenager. I stalked them everywhere in social media, not personally, okay? I'm not Joe, but I was obsessed, and I know what being someone's fan can do to you. And if you are, you know, using your mind, and if you are angry with your celebrity, then oh my God, God saves that person. So, yes, this is going to be my next Stephen King date. Okay, I'm done with my Stephen King collections. It's so weird that we as readers have so much confidence in a writer whom we love. Even after reading only one book, you just go out and buy 10 of their books, hoping that you will enjoy them and love them as much as you did the first one. And sometimes you get disappointed, but most of the time, I don't get disappointed. When I first read Agatha Christie, I bought entire collection of Agatha Christie and I'm still reading her books and I'm still getting amazed by her writings. So yeah, worth it. Next, I have Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. And this is translated by, let me see, Stephen Snyder. This book has been on my TBR list for a very long time. And when I decided to buy this one, I actually planned to read this before the year ends. And I'm still hoping that I will finish the book before the year ends. And when I first heard about this book, I was so intrigued because I love dystopian fiction. I believe we are currently living in a dystopia, and that is creating a lot of anxiety and panic in collective humanity. And to see the society, the world going completely bonkers and doing something so extreme and trying to control uh, politically, it's just so fascinating for me. And what actually scares me that many of the references that we see in dystopian fiction, be it 1984, be it Animal Farm, be it Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale, which I just finished this month, and it was absolutely horrifying. When you read these books, you can find similarities um, between those fictional world and between the world you live in, and that really upsets you as a reader, and also it makes you aware that this can happen if we don't seek out for help, humanity, community. And this one is also very fascinating. Let me explain the plot to you. To the people on the island, a disappeared thing no longer has any meaning. It can be burned in the garden, thrown in the river, or handed over to the memory police. Soon enough, the island forgets it ever existed. When a young novelist discovers that her editor is in danger of being taken away by the memory police, she desperately wants to save him. For some reason, he does not forget, and it's becoming increasingly difficult for him to hide his memories. Who knows what will vanish next? This is so unique, and I am really excited to read this one. And I absolutely love the cover. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is something. This is just inviting me to read this one. Spooky season is officially here, and I have two spooky books that I want to show you. And I love reading haunting house horror books where the horror story is happening inside a haunting house or a haunting land, whatever it is. I prefer haunting house. And for that reason, I have two books with me. First is The September House by Carissa Orlando. I have heard people who love horror rave about this book, so I'm really excited to read this one. I don't want to read from the back because I think going blindly to this type of plot actually pays off and you actually enjoy it more. So be spooked, be surprised. I want to be surprised, and that is why I'm not reading anything from the back because I know it is horror and thriller. So I'm not gonna read it. But oh my god, this is so great. And I know September is gone, but you can read September House in November, right? Nobody is going to put you in jail for that. Next up, I have another book which has really great reviews. That is We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cleaver. First of all, stunning cover. It just looks so stunning. And the way this design has been done, mwah, beautiful. And again, I don't want to read anything from the back, but I have heard about this book. It is about a guy who comes to this family and says that they used to own this house and he will not leave. He will start, you know, talking about it and sharing memories with this new family, and things will get really creepy. So, yeah, I'm excited for this one also. And I'm going to put these books in my Halloween TBR because Halloween is here. Tomorrow it's 31st. So, I think I'm sorted for this Halloween and this entire fall autumn spooky season. The last book in this list is a romance because, okay, if you get tired of horror, thriller, mysteries, and spooky books, what do you expect in your life? You just expect some kind of romance, and this looks really great. This is a novel love story by Ashley Preston. If I am remembering correctly, it is also about time travel. I love time travel romance, and lately I haven't read any impressive romance. The last romance I actually truly enjoyed was by Emily Henry. After that, I have read a few, but I didn't actually enjoy them. My problem with romance is that I have so many criteria, so many tropes that are overly done in romance genre. So if I can even smell any disliked trope of mine in a book, I don't like it. I just skip it. But I have a really good feeling about this one. I think I am gonna love this book. It is about Eileen Merriweather. Loves a good love story, the fictional kind anyway. After all, imaginary men don't break your heart. Come on, girl, we know that. But when Eileen starts break down en route to her annual book club retreat, she finds herself in Eloretron, a town where every meat is cute. The rain always comes in the afternoon, and the bookshop is always curated with impeccable taste. Okay, give me a break. This is going to be on my perfect romantic escape where we can imagine good things still happen in this world. And I want to feel hopeful. I want to feel love. I want to find love again in my life. So, yes, I am rooting for this one and I'm so excited. I just want to finish this before the year ends. I want to finish this year with a sweet note. And I also have so many romance books on my TVO list. And I am actually researching them because I can't just blindly pick romance books like I do with horror and thrillers. Even when I don't like the plot, I like something about them. But for romance, it has to be correct. It has to be like a perfect recipe. And I have actually made a list of all the romance books that I think I would love and I might cry. I would share with you if you want to know about them. So please let me know in the comment section if you like this video. And if you did, please like the video and please share with your bookworm friends who are just as crazy about books as us. And also subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I will see you soon. Happy Halloween and happy fall.